Hey, if you're going through a breakup or divorce right now, this video is designed to give you some orienting perspectives and principles that you can use to stay afloat during this time and metabolize the pain and the heartbreak that you're going through so that you can use this as a truly transformative time in your life and come out the other end feeling healed with a new level of perspective and capacity to create relationship and love. And I know that might sound lofty right now if you're really in the teeth of a breakup or a divorce, but hear me out. My name's Clayton Olson. I've been working with individuals in the realm of breakups and divorces for over 10 years at this point, and being a steward of helping people to go from one chapter to another that is one where it's more intentional, one where they've expanded their heart, one where they've taken the lessons and the gems and the gold from the experience and truly been able to apply it to their life and evoke that next version of themselves to come online. As I go through some of these are going to be pitfalls, and some are going to be just ways of looking at this time that can give you some deeper understanding of what might actually be happening. So the first thing I'm going to say here is that when we are breaking up with someone, or if you've been broken up with, there's other breakups that are actually happening as well that can be really painful. Not only are we losing or walking away from the person that we love, but we're also breaking up with a version of ourselves that we were in the relationship. And on top of that, we're also breaking up with the person that we were becoming in the relationship, the future version of ourselves. And so if you're feeling disoriented right now and confused about where to go, or you're feeling purposeless or directionless, this is exactly where you should be. It's normal and natural to feel this way because you lost orbit. The sun was maybe your partner or the relationship. It was a stabilizing gravitational force, and now that's gone. And you're might feel like you're floating without a grounding force in your life. And this is part of the experience. And so the more that you can allow yourself to feel lost, disoriented, not know what to do with yourself, and accept that this is part of the wormhole or the transition that you're in, the faster you're actually going to move through it. The one way that we keep ourselves stuck in the heartbreak and perhaps in the pain, the suffering of the relationship is when we are either in the habit of making ourselves feel really guilty because we're the ones to blame for the relationship ending, or when that gets really exhausting, we move over and we make the other person the villain for the relationship ending. And so we get stuck in this habit of looking to blame something. It's a very normal human reaction that when we're in a lot of pain, we think, okay, something's wrong, which means that I've been wronged or I've wronged somebody else. And so we are looking for a villain to help make sense of why we're in so much pain. But that process of trying to find a villain, whether it's the person that you're in relationship with or we're in relationship with, or whether it's you, is that it often creates this interesting kind of infinity loop where we just go back and forth between blaming them and then blaming ourselves, blaming them with our friends and family who help justify the relationship ending. And then those quiet moments by ourselves, we find ourselves turning inward and blaming ourselves. Here's the thing. When you can realize that this is a natural part of the process of going back and forth between guilt and innocence, and you can just observe it rather than get caught up on the roller coaster of it, in time, what will emerge is the true nature of the incompatibility that may have been present in your relationship. And you can start to see that the relationship ended not because of one person. There was a co-creation of something that was not sustainable. And maybe it was not sustainable for a very good reason. And it can be very difficult to start to see glimpses of that when we're stuck and entrenched in this blaming and guilting ourselves and blaming the other person. You know, there's going to be points as we start to unearth uh, what happened in the relationship and get distance from the other person where we do start to see places where we can take responsibility for things that we have done, or things that we see things that they have done that we're maybe not okay with. And there's some wisdom in that. You know, we often can project a lot of our internal problems onto the other person and think that they're at fault. And it's very natural to start to come into contact with the ways in which we were maybe responsible for our own feelings of unhappiness or anger or feeling trapped or whatever it was. And it's really important in that time to be super compassionate with yourself because you're human. And this is just what happens in relationships. We project and blame the other person, and we get so close to someone else that it's hard to actually see what's happening and to see our own uh, crap, our own triggers as they're occurring. And so this is a time of contemplation and a time to exercise compassion so that you can move through this and realize that you're not supposed to do relationship perfectly. We're going to make some mistakes along the way, and it's part of how we become better human beings. The next principle that I want to open is based on a question that I get from a lot of people that I work with through this time, which is, Clayton, I've been in this place for weeks, or I've been in this place feeling like this for months. Some people I work with have been there for a year or two, feeling just the pain of the breakup still on some level and questioning what happened. And they say, when am I going to be happy again? When am I going to feel like myself? And I'll say this, and I've told this to them as well, is that, the timing of this is it's undetermined. Our heart and our psyche has a natural immune system, and it heals in the timing that it heals. And sometimes the more that we are uh, rejecting or resisting the natural timing of our healing, that's what actually slows it down. So the more that you can keep making space that it might take a while for you to recover fully and for this next version of yourself to constellate fully online, the more that you can be in rapport with that, trusting that it's going to happen, the more frictionless it can be, the more you can get out of the way of it and allow yourself to mourn, allow yourself to go through whatever process that you need to go through, and eventually arrive on the other side of this. One way of looking at this is that rather than you recovering from the breakup, we can also look at it as this is actually your new identity stabilizing. And as that new identity stabilizes, and if it feels a bit unstable, it's natural to look backwards at a time when maybe we felt sure about who we were and to long for that or to think that that's somehow better just because this new identity hasn't fully come online yet. But as this comes online more and you start to again connect with yourself, come home to yourself, realize the ways in which you can make yourself happy, be an agent in your own life, this chapter will become less and less appealing as that occurs. When you're experiencing this deep heartbreak and this suffering, I often get questions, what do I do with this? Some people try to numb it by drinking or eating. Some people try to distract themselves with maybe social media or endless hours of TV. And, look, a good distraction every now and then, I'm not going to say that that can't serve you, but what I do encourage my clients to have is a practice of being with the experience. What if the only thing that you really need to do in this is just to stay present with the experience and keep breathing? Feel the sensations of the breakup, feel the sensations of your heart. Give yourself permission to really feel and mourn the loss of the relationship. I often see people make this interesting kind of belief, this this thought that if I mourn the relationship, if I allow myself to fully mourn the relationship, then that means that I'm sad because the breakup shouldn't have happened, right? But if I was to not cry or not really feel this and move on with my life, then that justifies the breakup. And I think it's actually quite the opposite. I think that the more you can allow yourself to honor the significance of this last chapter, regardless of what kind of relationship it was, but honor the effort that you put into it, honor who you were in it, who you became in it, and feel the loss of the relationship, even if it wasn't the best relationship. The more that we allow our hearts to heal and for ourselves to come home. I can't exactly remember where I heard this, but I know that when we're going through a breakup, we're really getting a PhD in the matters of our own heart. We're beginning to experience the underbelly of love. And that if you're really in pain right now, that it's not a sign that something's broken or something's wrong. It's actually a sign that your heart is really working and that you're only granted this privilege of heartbreak because of how courageously you were able to allow your heart to open and love. There are some people out there that don't get their heart broken and don't mourn after a breakup because they never really went in, they never really invested, they never really allowed their heart to get cracked open in the relationship. And so, if you're in pain right now, see that that's a sign of your courage. That's a sign that you went in, you went deep, you let go of control, and you went into a place of vulnerability. and that the pain is a reminder of that. So the more that you can sit with these feelings and just allow this to expand your capacity to feel the sensations in your body and connect back with you, come home to you, the more and the greater power you will have to love yourself and others in the future. My name's Clayton Olson, and if you enjoyed this video, please comment below. Let me know if you got any questions, and if you're looking for someone to speak with, if you're looking for some professional support during this incredibly transformative time in your life, and you'd like to alchemize this into an experience that propels you into a new future with momentum and power, feel free to reach out to me. My email is in the description below.